Om Bhura Bhuvaha Swaha Tatsaviturbharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaskar, my dear friends. In this video, I am going to narrate the reminiscences of Sri Devaraja Mudaliar about Maharshi Bhagwan Sri Ramana. So he says, it was in 1900 that I first cast my eyes casually on Bhagwan. From 1914 on, I began visiting him. Though my visits were few and far between, it was not till 1933 when I had my first great adversity that, true to the old adage, Bhagwan, our God, got his opportunity. From that time on, I came more and more under his spell, got to know him better, and as a result, have stuck to him forever. In this long interval between 1933 and his Samadhi in 1950, I am vain enough to imagine it has been given to me to know so much of him. So, the first thing that was borne in upon me, which subsequent closer acquaintance has thoroughly confirmed, was the fact that Bhagwan was no more anxious to annex any devotee who came to him than the devotee was fit to be annexed. Even to draw me nearer his spell took him nearly 20 years. He waited for time and circumstances to make me ready for him. In my long connection with him, I have discovered this is one of his traits, whether you hold to it to his credit or otherwise. Kavekantha Ganapati Shastri was so advanced in mantra, japa, tapasya and had great devotion to Bhagwan. Bhagwan in return had great respect for him and showed him great consideration. But even in a case such as this, Bhagwan did not go out of his way to ripen him before his time was due. He was content to wait for the right moment. I have heard that when after the Shastriyar's passing away, Bhagwan was asked whether in his case there was likely to be liberation from all further births. He replied, how could it be? He had such a strong desire more for powers. However, it was well known that this great person desired powers not for selfish purposes but for the regeneration of the world and its betterment. These characteristics of Bhagwan is not to be wondered at. Tagore sings, time is endless in thy hands, my Lord. Thou knowest how to wait. Thy centuries follow each other, perfecting a small wild flower. The reader should not, however, run away with the impression that Bhagwan does nothing. On the contrary, he does everything, each act in its own proper time, as he alone knows best. In the worst years of my domestic grief, which occurred at the same time as the end of my professional success, Bhagwan was a source of help and strength past all description. In that period, a devotee well known in ashram circles as through Pugaz Almelu was singing before Bhagwan a song from Bharati's Kanan Pattu, but substituting the name Ramana for Kanan. I felt then and feel even more so now that all that is said therein of Krishna is true of Bhagwan. The poem says, if he wants to initiate a soul in the path of perfection, he can do it in a word. He will tell us how to overcome karma and get on in life. When earnestly enough for, he will come without a moment's delay and without pretext for holding off. To me, he is what the umbrella is against rain and food against hunger. He will give me money whenever I ask for it. Bear and forbear, even when I scoff at him. Console me with dance and song, and know without my telling him what is my heart's desire. Among all saints, where is there one so kind? If I get conceited, he will bring me to my senses by sending a severe blow. He will contemptuously turn away from anything said in hypocrisy. In times of depression, his words of grace will flood our soul with light and cheer. When we have our quarrel with him and feel he has neglected us, he will do something to gladden our heart and fill it with gratitude. When we are in great peril, he will come and stand by us and avert the catastrophe. By his grace, all evils will be consumed like moths in a flame. From my experience and also the experience of some other devotees, I can affirm all this of Bhagwan, though it must perhaps be added that such things happen to Bhagwan's devotees more in the earlier stages of their affiliation with him than in the later years after they had become seasoned followers. Has he not himself exclaimed in the first of his 5 hymns to Arunachala, "You showed your heroic prowess, but having subdued, you do nothing at all now, O Arunachala." This is not to say that nothing bad or painful will ever happen to a devotee. There would still be cases where some calamity, disaster, sickness, or pain has to come as per one's prarabdha, which it would not be proper even for great souls such as Bhagwan to prevent altogether. In such cases, I have found Bhagwan greatly softens the blow, or at the very least grants all help and resources in various ways so as to enable the devotee concerned to tide over the crisis and bear it easily. I have seen all this happen in my own case as well as in the case of others. Even now I am just passing through the effects of a small mishap which befall me recently. But while the mishap had to come, Bhagwan has seen to it that it came at a time and place and under such circumstances which were the best for one in my position to face. Once when I asked Bhagwan how in answer to our earnest prayer to him for help we get relief, seeing that he has no mind which can desire to send us the required relief, he was pleased to say all will still happen. It will happen automatically. There is another trait that I have observed in Bhagwan, though he was equally accessible and kind to all alike, and though thousands of visitors came and went over the years, there was a small coterie of followers among all this crowd whom he definitely took over for his special care. Here again it must be said that he was not making any choice, for where was there a mind in him to make a choice? Such things were happening automatically. However, to all alike he was immeasurably kind. Now I must draw attention to another characteristic of Bhagwan. He was extremely humble, affable and accessible, and yet kept all at a distance. There was a royal dignity that clothed the naked Bhagwan, and few could ever allow themselves to forget it. Also, even in his kindest and most indulgent moods, even in dealing with the children or grown-up children, which some of his disciples like me were, he would never make a concession in stating the truth or advising its pursuit. Kind and loving as he undoubtedly was, he was, unlike some saints, more the strict father than the indulgent mother. I myself used to call him my father, mother in all my letters to him. Whenever anyone used to sing a Tamil song in which that phrase occurred, Bhagwan would look at me and smile. I mention this here merely to illustrate what great attention he was always paying to his devotees. I wrote of Alamelu Amal and the Kanan song she used to sing about 2 years before Bhagwan's Mahasamadhi. After she had passed away, somebody came and sang that song. Bhagwan said, Alamelu used to sing that song while apparently indifferent to the hordes who came and went. He was really closely attentive to all that was happening and helping wherever he could. Bhagwan has himself said that as soon as someone appears before him, that person was an open book for him. Nothing about us was hidden from him. Though Bhagwan's main teachings are well known and need no further publicity, I shall refer briefly to them here. His whole teaching was briefly expressed in the biblical quote, "Be still and know that I am God." That is to say, one should attain quiescence or real mana and realize the self that is within each of us as I am. To attain this state of thoughtfulness, Bhagwan asked us to concentrate on the question, who am I? He wanted us to find the source of this I thought, which is the root of all other thoughts. Through this inquiry, he said, the individual I will disappear and the self will emerge. Though Bhagwan always said this Vichara method was the best, he almost always added, if you say this method is too hard for you, or if you are too weak to follow it, you had better completely surrender to God. The same result will follow. Thus he advocated the bhakti method almost in equal measure, saying that the bhakta will eventually come to realize there is only the self and not a dichotomy of God and devotee. I never, however, saw Bhagwan recommend either the Karma Yoga or Raja Yoga method. So I end the video here. Thanks my dear friends for watching and listening this video. Please like, comment and share the video and subscribe the channel. Thanks a lot my dear friends. Namaskar.